of Musnad Ahmad. Musnad Ahmad Hadith. We're going to go to Hadith number 3788, volume 1. And so if you open the book, this is how it looks like from the inside. Look. We'll use other volume numbers or other page numbers just to give you an idea, okay? We're going to scroll down, page 583. We'll scroll down to the correct Hadith. 3788. ثم إنه ذكر هنينا كأنه مصدود. And you already see my translation in the bottom. The word haninan means Haneen in the footnote. Do you see the
And my beach, Robbie, like your Jesus Jeepus. Did you not see the other footnote which says يركبون, and it means أي يقربون منه ويزحمونه, right? Did you not see this one? Did you not see that it's يركبون or يركبون Rasulullah does not mean they went and rode the Prophet Muhammad sallam, rather they followed him and got closer to him. أي يقربون منه, they got closer to him and crowded him. يزحمون. You didn't pay attention to that?
Muhammad admits that the jinns heard him. Here is book number 2. In the following book, also known as Musnad al-Bazzar, this book is also famous, very famous book, also called not only Bahr al-Saghir or Saghar, volume 5 by al-Bazzar, but it's also called Musnad al-Bazzar. Okay? It's more famous for in the name as Musnad al-Bazzar, okay? AKA Musnad al-Bazzar. Volume 5, and I gave you the link. Let's see what Muhammad said himself after what happened to him. There is a hadith on the screen, hadith number 1886, hadith number 1886. We scroll down on page 271. Now, do you understand, guys, slowly? Are you catching why I said any Muslim who will dare to touch this topic and try to refute it, and I'm around, I will finish your career, your dawah career, boy. You're finished, boy. Okay? Because my name is Rob Christian. And I'm your and your prophet's worst nightmare, as you noticed. All right. So here it says that the messenger of Allah said, okay, قال رسول الله فقال رسول الله. After sitting down, so Muhammad, Rasulullah, came and he sat down and he said, لقد أذاني هؤلاء الليلة. The messenger of Allah said, those creatures, i.e. the tall, penis-shaped, naked jinn, hurt me tonight.
Nope, Robbie. Rather, I will be the one who is your worst nightmare. I will wipe you out completely like your Jeepus. Right? I will make you Abdul Maqtul like your Jeepus. Anyway, bro. So the fool was saying, لَقَدْ آذَانِ هَؤُلَاء, right? Those people hurt me. Those who look like the shape of this thing. Looking like a shape of something does not mean, oh, you're a shape. You are that thing, right? Like we was mentioning the pee-pee, right? So what the thing is, the fool went and nowhere in the reports that all of them he showed, none of them say that the jinn actually had intercourse with the Prophet Muhammad or actually raped him. None of them say that. No report says that. Because, for example, an animal is naked, bro, right? An animal, if he attacks you or harms you, it does not mean he raped you. What this fool thinks about, right? If an old man, for example, hit a little child or harmed him in making fun of him, right? It does not mean they hurt him. And the thing is, the jinn, Habibi, they are created from smokeless fire. So they have a harara. They have a harara, my fool, right? And one of the things that is well known, Habibi, is that other harm can mean from the crowd because they crowded him. For example, if we look at this narration of Musnad Ahmad, the Prophet Muhammad said, O Umar, you are a strong man. Do not crowd others to touch the black stone, lest you harm or hurt the weak. Now, if you don't believe me, I will show you, Habibi. As you see, Habibi Robi, right? It says here, okay, in the Arabic version, عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال له يا عمر إنك رجل قوي لا تزاحم أي لا تزاحم عليه. The jinn is dahamu, they crowded the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So here the Prophet saying to Umar, O Umar, you are a strong man. Do not crowd. لا تزاحم على الحجر. Do not crowd close to the black stone. فَتُؤْذِي الضَّعِيفِ, lest you harm the weak. Right? So basically Prophet Muhammad saying that, oh, Umar is a strong man, and if he crowds somebody, he can hurt him. But it does not mean he can punch him or kill him. No, because of him crowding him, he did not rape him. Yeah, wasik. He crowded him, okay? Unlike your jeepus who was a sissy hiding. Or maybe ummak. But anyway, فَتُؤْذِي, lest you harm or you hurt, right? Here I took the word and pasted it, فَتُؤْذِي, so you hurt, right? Lest you hurt somebody, right? So anyway, Robbie, this topic is gonna be your end career. Yani, I know all your tactics, everything, I got them, bro. You're not gonna be able to respond anymore except repeat the same topic, and I will repeat it as well. Yani, Robbie, I've never left you at all. You've been running away from me for a long time. I've been responding to you for years and years and years, making videos on this account, Muslim Warrior, and on the other account, Najib Saud. Every time you repeat this topic without any proof, I repeat the same thing on you. I've been posting every time you post, and I'll never leave you, Allah. It'll be your end your career.
One of the objections, as I showed you, or one of the objections that they will come up with is they will say, well, Ibn Mas'ud wasn't there. So one of the claims to try to refute the idea that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud wasn't an eyewitness, they said, one of the claims is, they said, well, Ibn Mas'ud wasn't there. What do you mean he wasn't there? Look what he says in Tafsir ibn Kathir for chapter 46, ayah 29. Ibn Mas'ud, when he was asked, were you there? Right? Were you there? حدث إنك كنت مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليلة وفد الجن. Were you there during the night of the jinn? Ibn Mas'ud said, here is his name, Abdullah bin Mas'ud, he said, Ajal, and Ajal means in the Arabic language, yes. So Ibn Mas'ud said, yes, I was there, meaning he is an eyewitness. So here, first objection, destroyed. Boom! Destroyed. Destroyed. Okay? So Ibn Mas'ud admits that he was together with Muhammad. This is Tafsir ibn Kathir for chapter 46, ayah 29. Ajal means yes, I was there. Okay? Student of Ibn Taymiyyah, volume 2, Tarikh al-Islam means the history of Islam. Tarikh al-Islam means history. That's the title of the book. History of Islam. Okay? All right. We open the book, Z-book, and we go to page 448. Look, page 448. We scroll down to find some information. And we have here a report. The number of the report is 533. Page, what did we say? Page 448. Tarikh al-Islam by Imam al-Dhahabi. Okay, volume 2. That's the reference, the entire reference. Report number 533, page 448. All right, talking about who Amr al-Bakali is. Amr al-Bakali, that's his name, the second guy in the chain. Okay, the second guy before. So we have guys, Amr al-Bakali. We have Amr al-Bakali, who is narrating from Ibn Mas'ud, the main narrator, who happens to be the one who sits in the magic circle and is watching the eyewitness, right?
Again, just watch how the fool Rabi thinks that when it says that Yarwi an Fulan, Rawa an Ibn Mas'ud, that this guy narrated from Ibn Mas'ud, it means he said that he claimed something, that he heard something which in reality he did not hear. And this is in Ilm al-Hadith, Habibi, is called Tadlis. In At-Tamheed by Ibn Abd al-Barr, Juz' volume 1st, page 15, he says, وَأَمَّا التَّدْلِيسِ, as for fabrication, فهو أن يحدث الرجل عن الرجل قد لقيه وأدرك زمانه وأخذ عنه وسمع منه وحدث عنه بما لم يسمع منه. So basically it is a man, if you were to say that this guy is a Sahabi, Tadlis, fabrication, is when a man narrates from another man who he met or he was alive during his generation, and he took from him and he heard from him and he spoke about him which he did not hear directly from him. And this is what I mean. He narrated from Ibn Mas'ud which he did not hear about him. He fabricated. It must be, if he was a Sahabi, it may be due to wahm, because some of the Sahaba may have made a mistake in this thing, and I will prove it. If we go to Lisan al-Arab by Ibn Mandur, volume 1st, page 709, you can clearly see Rabi here. So basically what we see here in the hadith of Urwa bin Mas'ud, who was a Sahabi, it was said to him that Ibn Abbas says that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ لبث بمكة بضع عشرة سنة, that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ stayed in Mecca for 10 years. Urwa bin Mas'ud said about Ibn Abbas, who was a Sahabi as well, because Urwa is a Sahabi and Ibn Abbas is a Sahabi, he says, فقال كذب, he lied, meaning أي أخطأ. When the Arabs use كذب, it means he made a mistake, right? He made a mistake in this. So as you can see, one Sahabi is saying to another Sahabi, he made a mistake in this. So it can be the same thing regarding the narrator that you were saying, you're claiming he's one of the Sahaba when he's actually one of the Tabi'een. If you claim that he heard from Ibn Mas'ud, he might have forgotten, right, and said that I heard from Ibn Mas'ud, but in reality he did not hear from it. Because we have other proofs that proving that he in reality did not hear from Ibn Mas'ud.
Oh, chest. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. My chest is going.
This is the Cairo edition. What you see here is the Cairo edition of Musnad Ahmad on the screen by Ahmad bin Hanbal or Ibn Hanbal. Okay. Here is the page 33. Look in the bottom, page 33. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. In the Arabic, page 33. So the first page, page 33. All right. We scroll up. All the men in the chain are the men of Bukhari, the men of
Gotta let it out before you eat.
.34 in the bottom, page 34 in the bottom. Okay, and there is another chain of narration that is reported by Imam at-Tirmidhi, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Brother Jai, during the live show of Brother David Wood and Raymond Ibrahim, they invited Sister DOC and her husband Jai, you know, the brother and the sister, awesome brothers and sisters, one of my dear brothers. We go way back, Brother Jai and I, way back to the Paul Talk era, and we used to debate Muslims and even Imams and Shuyukh on Paul Talk. right? Brother Christian Prince was there. Brother Sam Shamoun used to be there.
Robbie, you are my fool like your jeepus.
It says here وقد روى الترمذي. So Imam al-Tirmidhi has reported this from another path من طريق جعفر بن ميمون, and it continues all the way to Ibn Mas'ud. So we have a different chain of narration where you don't have Amr al-Bakali in the chain. So guys, in other words, we have at least 2 different chains of narrations. 2 different chains of narration for this story of Qawm or the written prophet. كأنهم الزط riding رسول الله يركبون رسول الله. 2 of them. One in Musnad Ahmad, for example, that Musnad Ahmad has included, and another chain, a different chain of narration with different people in the chain, right? And the grading of the hadith is Hasan, Gharib, Sahih.
يا إخوان, watch how we'll destroy Robbie the fool, like his followers and like his Jesus. He is referring to this narration in Sunan Tirmidhi, which says حسن صحيح غريب من هذا الوجه. Now this narration of Imam Tirmidhi mentions the Qawm al-Zut, but it does not mention that they wrote the Prophet Muhammad in this narration. Just look at the fool. Look, let me read it for you. Okay, it was narrated by Abdullah bin Mas'ud that the Prophet Muhammad prayed al-Isha ثم انصرف فأخذ بيد عبد الله بن مسعود. Then he left and took Abdullah bin Mas'ud by the hand حتى خرج به إلى بطحاء مكة فأجلسه ثم خط عليه خطا ثم قال لا تبرحن خطك. Then he placed the line for Abdullah bin Mas'ud and told him to stay there and not cross this line. فإنه سينتهي إليك رجال فلا تكلمهم فإنهم لن يكلموك. So there will come to you men, they will speak to you, so do not speak to them, right? There will be men that will come, do not speak to them because they will not speak to you. ثم مضى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حيث أراد. Then the Prophet left. فبين أنا جالس, Abdullah bin Mas'ud says, فبينما أنا جالس في خطي, while I'm sitting close to the line the Prophet Muhammad told me to not go past. إذ أتاني رجال كأنهم الزط. Men came to me as if they were الزط. أشعارهم وأجسامهم. They have hair and they have, body and, bodies. لا أرى عورة ولا أرى قشرا. I do not see any of their private parts. I do not see any of them being clothed. So they look like they're not clothed, and at the same time I don't see any private parts on them. So there's no malamih. There's no, for example, body, what's it called? Body parts, right? وينتهون إلي ولا يجاوزون الخط. They came close to me, but they did not go past beyond the line. ثم يصدرون إلى رسول الله. Then they went towards the Prophet Muhammad حتى إذا كان من آخر الليل, when it was the last part of the night. لكن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قد جاءني وأنا جالس فقال لقد أراني منذ الليلة. Then the Prophet Muhammad came to me and saw me while sitting, so he came and he says لقد أراني منذ الليلة. ثم دخل علي في خطي. Then he came towards my line. فتوسد what does it says here? فتوسد فخذي ورقد. Then he came and laid down on my laps and slept. وكان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا رقد نفخ. فبينما أنا قاعد ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم متوسد فخذي إذا أنا برجال عليهم ثياب بيض الله أعلم ما بهم من الجمال. So basically when the Prophet Muhammad was laying on my lap, there came to me, and while I'm sitting, I heard from the Prophet Muhammad some breath, he was breathing. And so I saw men came to me, they were very beautiful and they were white, right? فانتهوا إلي, they came towards me, and فجلس طائفة منهم عند رأس رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So one of them came, said, basically these are angels. They said one sat on the head of the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, وطائفة منهم عند رجليه. So one sat close to the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم's head, and the other sat close to his feet. ثم قالوا بينهم, then they said towards one another, ما رأينا عبدا قط أوتي مثل ما أوتي هذا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. We never saw any slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who were given what the Prophet Muhammad was given. إن عينيه تنامان وقلبه يقظان. So basically his eyes sleep but his heart does not sleep. ضربوا له مثلا, they basically give this quotation, a مثل, مثل سيد بني قصرا مثل سيد بنى قصرا ثم جعل مائدة فدعا الناس إلى طعامه وشرابه. They said that the Prophet Muhammad, the example of him is like a man who built a palace and placed a table, and he called the people towards the table to eat and drink. فمن أجابه أكل من طعامه وشرب من شرابه. So whoever responds to the Prophet Muhammad, he would eat from his food and he would drink from his sharab, from the water, from basically the juice or water that he has. ومن لم يجبه عاقبه, and whoever does not answer his invitation, he will punish him. أو قال عذبه, basically torture him. ثم ارتفعوا واستيقظ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عند ذلك. Then they left, and the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم woke up at this moment. فقال سمعت ما قال هؤلاء. He said to Abdullah bin Mas'ud, did you hear what these angels said? وهل تدري من هم, and do you know who they are? قلت الله ورسوله أعلم. Ibn Mas'ud says, Allah and his messenger know best. The Prophet says, قال هم الملائكة, they are the angels. فتدري ما المثل الذي ضربوه? Do you know what the example they gave regarding me? قلت, Abdullah bin Mas'ud says, الله ورسوله أعلم. Allah and his messenger know best. قال المثل الذي ضربوه الرحمن بنى الجنة ودعا إليها عباده. That the Rahman, basically Allah built a heaven and he called the people his slaves towards it. فمن أجابه دخل الجنة. Whoever responds to him, he enters paradise. ومن لم يجبه عاقبه أو عذبه. And whoever does not respond to him, you would punish him and torture him. Now this is the hadith I was talking about. Where does it say that they rode on the Prophet Muhammad? Let me show you what Rabbi is going to do. I'm going to translate it for everyone, and I want you to find in the English version where it says that they sat on the Prophet Muhammad. So I will copy, right? And I will post it on sunnah.com so you can see the English translation. As you can see, this is the hadith that Rob was regarding. Now look at the English version. Where does he say that they rode the Prophet Muhammad or rakibuh? Look at the Arabic and the English. Nowhere does it say it. Nowhere does it say it. This is the hadith that is mentioned in At-Tirmidhi regarding what Rabbi was mentioning, right?
That's the grading, as you see with the red line here, right? With the red line here, that's the grade. Okay, that's the grade. Okay, that's the grade. Now, some Muslims will say, well, this grading is da'if. No, it's not da'if. That's your ignorance talking. Because remember, the hadith is hadith Hasan Gharib Sahih. Hadith Hasan Gharib Sahih. Okay? The grade is Hasan Gharib Sahih. Now, let's see what Hasan Gharib Sahih means according to the great style of Imam At-Tirmidhi. If we go to Islam Web, for example, Islam Web. Okay, islamweb.info. .net, if I'm not mistaken. It explains us the following. The statement of Imam At-Tirmidhi. Remember, this is narrated by Imam At-Tirmidhi. Okay, the statement of Imam At-Tirmidhi on the hadith that it is Hasan Gharib, yes, on the hadith that this is Hasan Gharib means, now let's see what it means. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can take a screenshot. When you have a hadith that is Hasan Gharib, means that this hadith is fully acceptable to him and not weak. Boom!
Emotional damage.
In other words, is sound, it's sahih. Did you catch it? When if it's not weak, it's fully accepted, it's authentic, it's sahih. Rather, it is even stronger than the hadith regarding which he says Hasan only. Regarding Ja'far bin Maymun, let us do some investigation about his rank. On this database about narrators of hadith, we find info about Ja'far bin Maymun, his lineage al-Basri, al-Tamimi, and the most important part, and my refutation, his rank maqbool, which means he is accepted. Again, this narrator is what? Accepted. Look. The book of Ibn Kathir, Jama' al-Masanid was Sunan li Ibn Kathir, the famous Mufassir, the Ibn Kathir, okay, who wrote Tafsir Ibn Kathir. That's the Ibn Kathir himself. The student, for the people who do not know, this is the student of Ibn Taymiyyah, Shaykh al-Islam, Ibn Taymiyyah. Okay? Ibn Kathir, like Imam al-Dhahabi, he is a student of Imam Shaykh al-Islam, Ibn Taymiyyah. Okay, that's Ibn Kathir for you. So in his book, Jama' al-Masanid was Sunan by Ibn Kathir, volume 27. Rob, can you give us the link? I think I can. Here is the download link. Here is the download link of Ibn Kathir. Hope it's working though. Here is another link. If that link does not work, here is another copy. I hope another link that if that the first link doesn't work, here is link number 2. And I hope it's going to work though. I did not test it, but there are at least 2 different links. Okay. I found it there also well. Okay. Jam' al-Masanid was Sunan li Ibn Kathir. Jam' al-Masanid was Sunan li Ibn Kathir. We open it, volume 27. We go to page 7526, as you see on top. The chapter is called Musnad Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu. Of course, named after Abdullah bin Mas'ud. On the left, the Arabic numbers, 7526, 7526. Same hadith. فَجَعَلُوا يَرْكَبُونَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. They started to ride the Prophet. We go down. Guess what? The chain of narration is what? Sahih. Sahih. And on the same page, we see another report that confirms that Ibn Mas'ud was with Muhammad during the night of the jinn. Let's read it. From Ibn Mas'ud, he said, I went together with Rasulullah in the night of the jinn. Yet this embarrassed donkey kept lying about Ibn Mas'ud, throwing this main companion of Muhammad under the bus, saying Ibn Mas'ud wasn't there. Book number, how many books did I already show? 5, 6? I can't remember. Anyway, in مجمع الزوائد ومنبع الفوائد, okay, مجمع الزوائد ومنبع الفوائد by the famous Sunni scholar Imam al-Hafiz al-Haythami. Imam al-Hafiz al-Haythami. Any Muslim who wants to come up, don't be scared. Imam al-Hafiz al-Haythami. Rob, can you drop this link too? I'll try to find it for you. Hold on. Where's the link? I have it here somewhere. Yes, here's the link. Here's the link.
Robbie, get over it.
Here is the link too. Volume 8. Volume 8. You see, I also put the reference on top. مجمع الزوائد منبع الفوائد by Imam al-Hafiz al-Haythami. Volume 8, page 334. We go down. Here's the Arabic. We go down. Same story. فَجَعَلُوا يَرْكَبُونَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. We go down, and guess what? All the men in the chain are of a sahih, meaning all the men you can see here, you can find them, for example, in Sahih Muslim, in Sahih Bukhari. Okay, all of the men are of a sahih.
Oh, my chest. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. My chest is going.
Oh, no, brother, no. Look. Here is another book. أطراف الغراب والأفراد من حديث رسول الله by Imam al-Daraqutni, another famous Sunni scholar. All of these scholars, guys, are classical Sunni scholars. Muslims cannot throw them under the bus, and they are reporting the incident. Volume 4 by Imam al-Daraqutni. Okay, Volume 4. Can we get the link? Where did I put it? Where did you put it, Rob? Rob? Don't lie, Rob. I'm not sure if I can find the link right now.
Remember
I put it somewhere. Sometimes, guys, I have so many books, as you noticed. Sometimes it's like you're getting drowned in them. But eventually we will find them, though. Imam al-Daraqutni. Imam al-Daraqutni. Not sure if I can find it right now. Don't know. If I can't find it, guys, like I said, if I can't find it without putting it on the screen. On page 100, right? Page 100, Lord willing, I will include the link in the comments section after the video. So on page 100 of this book, page 100, 100, when you see dots, guys, that means zeros. So 100. Okay, page 100, we scroll down. Same story. فَجَعَلُوا يَرْكَبُونَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ فَجَعَلُوا يَرْكَبُونَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. They started to ride the Prophet. They are naked. إِنَّهُ ذَكَرَ هَنِينًا كَإِنَّهُمُ الزُّطْ. Okay. Guess what? The chain of narration is صحيح. قال أحمد شاكر, another famous scholar, Ahmad Shakir, said, the chain is صحيح. The chain is صحيح.
نحن نتحدى أهل البدع والأهواء، أهل البدع العقائدية وأهل البدع السياسية. نقول بيننا وبينكم السلف، بيننا وبينكم الفكر.